as feminine women, we need to have self-control in all aspects of our lives. So I want to break down the four main umbrellas of having self-control, which is controlling your tongue, controlling your emotions, controlling what you indulge, and sexual control. Everything is permissible for me, but not everything is beneficial. Everything is permissible for me, but I will not be mastered by anything. 1 Corinthians 6:12. Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sky.Onjahnae if you are new here. So yeah, let's get right into this video. Having self-control keeps us grounded. It keeps us in control of ourselves, hence the name self-control. And it just allows us to function in the world. We won't be consumed by things of the world, things other people are saying. We won't be controlled by things people do what they say to us. So first and foremost, the one thing that we really need to have control over is our tongue. I don't know about you, but sometimes I used to get mad, and the first thing that came to my mind, I would say, because I just felt like if you want to disrespect me, I'm going to have something to say back, period, point blank. And that is not always, or really not ever, the best way to handle things as a feminine Christian woman. The Bible says that we do not repay insult with insult, and we just give love, because you don't know what this person is going through. I know that's hard to think about when somebody is saying something to you that you don't like, but you're supposed to lead with love in all things with everybody. That is the Christ way to do things. But also, you should not let someone have that much control over you, because your tongue can be lethal. That is one thing that the Bible does also say about our tongues and why we should control it. The tongue has so much power. It has the power of life or death in it. It has the power to hurt someone, but it also has the power to uplift people. Have you ever just said something very simple to someone? Oh, like you saw somebody in the street, out in public, and you just gave them a compliment and their face lights up. That is the power of the tongue. Or have you ever said something to someone, or someone said something to you, and it's literally sat with you that whole day, that week, or whatever, because it just hurt you to the core. You just can't believe someone could say something like that to you. That's because the tongue has power. But the tongue also has the power to change your mind, to shift your mind. It can control your mind in a sense. Like, if you are not careful about how you speak about yourself, your mind will start to internalize that, and you will believe that. That's why it's so important to speak life, not only to people, but to yourself as well. How many times have you done something and you're like, oh, I'm so stupid, or I'm silly, or something like that, something negative about yourself, and then you say that constantly, then you start feeling depressed, or you start not thinking highly of yourself. It's because you yourself do not speak to yourself like you should be. You should be uplifting yourself, and uplifting yourself will help you to be able to uplift others and to speak life. One thing that I would say you could put into practice is put sticky notes around your house. Like, put some affirmations and positive quotes that you feel about yourself, or just positive quotes in general. Put them around your house so that you can see them everywhere you go, and so that you can start saying them out loud. I would pray on it too. Ask God to help guide your tongue, because again, our tongue is powerful, and we're supposed to speak life. Our mouths are a fountain of life. So if you yourself are not speaking life and have self-control, because that's the topic when we talk about self-control. If you can't even control your tongue when it comes to yourself, you're not going to be able to when it comes to other people, because it's showing that you yourself do not even care enough about you to speak positive to you. And most of the time when we're in a good space mentally, it's easier for us to not be affected by what other people say. Like, if you know your worth, you know who you are, and someone says something that is completely left field, you won't even be affected. You won't even be that upset that you have to retaliate or say something negative to them. Which that brings me to my next point: controlling your anger, but really not even anger, just controlling your emotions in general, because again, nobody or nothing should have that much power over you that gets you out of character, to make you say something that you might later on regret, or to make you do something that is just not ladylike, not feminine, and not Christ-like. So when it comes to your emotions, you need to learn how to feel them. I think I spoke about this on my Instagram page about how to sit and feel your emotions. So once you learn how to feel your emotions, you're able to sit with them, and you're not just so quick to react to things. And like I said, I spoke on this on my Instagram. And first you need to take a step back. Take a step back and acknowledge what you are feeling. Are you feeling angry? Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling disrespected? What exactly is the emotion that you're feeling? And then once you come to that conclusion, think about why you feel that. Like, I know this process sounds like it takes a lot, because it does. It's forcing you to sit and think about how you feel, sit and think about past things, because at the end of the day, what you feel is because you were triggered in some way. And I've said this before, it's no one's job to tiptoe around your triggers. It's your job to control your own triggers, to know how to control yourself when you are triggered. So think about it. Think about what it is that you have dealt with in life, what it is that have made you sensitive to whatever this person said or did. And then dissect that. Dissect how you feel about that. You need to maybe speak to somebody about it, come up with a plan to work through that, something to be able to control how you feel when it happens, because it may happen again. Yeah, it may happen again. So you need to know how to control it. I'm going to say control a lot, because that's the point of this video. We're talking about controlling ourselves. And I think this one, anger is the most important. Well, not even anger. Emotions are the most important, because when you respond or just react to things, you're giving that other person the control over you. And people know that. People know when they have got a rise out of you. You do not let them. Oh, I don't know how I feel about this, but we go keep adding and see. The point of what I'm saying is, don't let people have that much control of you that you get yourself out of character. You have worked so hard, especially if you've been watching my videos up to this point. I know you've worked so hard to become the woman that God destined you to be. You've worked on yourself. You worked on your anger. You worked on how you communicate. You worked on all these things to become more feminine. Don't let somebody take you out of character because you don't know how to control your trigger. And this is easier said than done, but I promise you, the more you practice it, the easier, because I said easier, I sounded like a robot, the easier it will become. Okay, none of the things I say in any of my videos are things that are going to happen overnight. They are things that you have to work on. This is turning into a cut crease somehow. You do not have to retaliate, because the vengeance is for the Lord. All you need to do is do your part and be loving, and God is going to handle that. Like, he's going to handle the people that came against you. He's going to handle the people that try to do whatever it is they tried to do to you, because whatever it was, it's not going to work, because you are covered by the blood of Jesus, okay? Whatever that person did to mean to cause you harm, God is going to use to elevate you. He's going to use it for your good. And you have to remember that you are the Lord's child. Okay, you don't have to fight your battles. He is your parent. Like, it's when you were young, somebody did something, you went and told your parent, and they're like, oh, hold on, not my baby. That's how God is with you. He's going to be like, not my baby, not my prized possession, not my daughter. Okay, he got it. He going to handle it for you. But he cannot do that if you're trying to do it for him. When you try to take control of the situation and use your tongue or get out of character or lose your cool, you're trying to do his job for him. And you are no longer blameless in that situation, because you decided to retaliate instead of letting your father handle it for you. And again, it's easier said than done, but that's why being in your word, that's why actually practicing and learning how to control your emotions will take you so far, and you won't even be in situations where you see yourself arguing with people, you see yourself getting out of character, you feel yourself getting so angry. Moving on to my third overarching point about self-control and what we need to have self-control in, and that is overindulging. And that goes for like food, alcohol, music, television, social media, because all of these things have the ability to control your mind. Whether you realize it or not, the music you listen to, that has an effect on you. Everything is spiritual. That's what we need to realize. Everything is spiritual. So, which is why when you say certain things or when you listen to certain things, it begins to control your mind. It begins to, that's how you start to think. People who play sports like football, they listen to really aggressive music because they have to be aggressive on the field. They have to tackle people. They have to, you know, be aggressive. So that music gets them in that mindset. And also, have you ever been sad and you decide to listen to music and it's sad music, it keeps you in that sad state? So when it comes to the things we consume, we have to be careful and not overindulge because it will have an effect on us depending on what type of content it is. So I'm not saying you have to completely stop listening to rap music or stop listening to the music you like, but stop watching certain television shows. But for those who actually are really consumed by that type of thing, we need to watch that because it does have a negative effect on us. So if you're someone who watches a lot of reality TV, you're probably someone who has a hard time controlling their anger because on reality TV, they're always fighting. They're always getting into it. And if that's what you're only consuming, that's how you're going to be. Also, when it comes to social media, how many times are you on social media and you look at somebody and you see, say, somebody your age, and they seem to look like they're living a lot better than you? That starts to take a toll on you because now you're going to start comparing yourself. But comparison is the thief of joy. Okay, you need to limit the amount of stuff that you see. Limit the amount of stuff that you intake because all of these things can just lead you down a path that you won't even realize it. Like, especially when it comes to like drinking. It's okay to have a drink. The problem is being drunk. You need to know your limits when it comes to that because being drunk can lead you to being angry, lead you to, you know, not being a functional human being. And I'm not talking about it. I'm not even saying alcoholic, but just being drunk in general. You can't function when you're drunk. You can't drive. You can barely walk straight. That's why it's important to know your limits and have some self-control in that because you don't want to be nobody likes drunk. Nobody likes drunk people. I know I don't. Like, I can't stand being around drunk people. It does something to my soul because they become like children. And it's just like, come on, you're grown. You're older than me sometimes. So having control in that will keep you to keep your anger down. It'll keep you functional. Also, overeating. That can lead to so much too because overeating can lead to gluttony, which leads to being tired. We get the itis, okay? And we get lazy. We want to go to sleep. So if you're constantly overeating, and I'm not saying this is everybody watching this video, you have that issue, but for those of us who don't know how to just stop when we're full, that can lead to so many other problems that we don't realize, and then we're into this rabbit hole. I'm really liking this concealer now. I don't know if it's a concealer or it's the skincare that I just started using. I've been using it for like a month. But my complexion, my makeup complexion stuff, it has been looking so nice. Like, it was nice before. And also, I switched from Juvia's Place. Like, I use Juvia's Place only down the bridge of my nose and my chin, like, in these areas. Because Juvia's Place has been creasing. I think they changed their formula, but I don't like it. So, I have not been using that under my eyes. Any area that can crease, I won't put my Juvia's Place. But I like the consistency of their concealer. And I just bought a new one, so I'm going to use it. I know it probably looks crazy on camera. That's because it hasn't all come together yet, but fret not. I don't want you looking at this like, girl, what is you doing? It's gonna come together. But I'm gonna go finish this up and then come back with my final thought and be right back. Now this last one, I don't think anybody's gonna like, but it needs to be said, and that is sexual control. Now, if you're married, don't worry about this. But those of us who are not married, do not just be giving yourself to these men, okay? God ordained sexual pleasure for married couples for a reason. It protects us from unwanted pregnancies. It protects us from sexually transmitted diseases. And it protects us from the soul ties that happens when you lay down with someone. If you may not believe in it, but sex is spiritual. And if it's something that you're sharing with someone that's not your husband, it's not someone you're going to be spending the rest of your life with, someone that you are not committed to being with in front of the Lord, then you're connecting to them. Like, and if you're constantly laying down with men and letting all of those spirits into you, that's why you have depression. That's why you have connections to people that you just cannot let go. Because you've opened that part of you to them. So I don't nobody want to hear that, especially with the world we live in where it's available everywhere. Have control in it. That goes for self-pleasure as well as laying down with someone. Do not be laying down with these men, okay? Save it for marriage. If you've done it already, it's okay. Just stop. Repentance is just changing your mind. Don't be alone with the man that you're currently seeing because that can lead to things. Don't allow the lust to come into you. So if you must stop listening to sexual music, stop watching sexual things on television. Keep your eyes and your ears closed to lustful things. That way it will help you to not give into those sexual pleasures and have that control over your own body to say, no, I am in control of my body and I will not let lust take control of me. But that is all I have for this video. I hope you really liked it. Like I said, I will be leaving all the details of the products that I use in the description, and I will see you in my next video.